Hello everyone, this is Brooke and welcome to the Pink2Paris channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I make videos about personal development and lifestyle, and these videos are designed to help you shine in life. So if this interests you, please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so that you never miss an upload. So today's video, like you see on the title, is all about goals and goal setting. I figured that since 2020 is halfway over, which is kind of a good thing because it's not been the best year. But since it's halfway over and we're at that point where it's a great time to set and reevaluate our goals for the year. So those of you like me who have set goals at the beginning of the year, now you've got a half a year to see how you've done. And those of you who are waiting, now is a great time to set a goal to get you through the rest of the year. So we're going to talk about goal setting today. I'm going to talk to you about what I do, my little process, and then also I'm going to walk you through one of my actual goals and how I came to come up with that goal. So a little bit about me before we get started. Just so you know, I have a strong achievement orientation. My personality is very ambitious and it's geared towards getting things done and also achieving goals and accomplishing things. Not everybody is like this, and I completely understand. So don't feel like I'm setting this standard, but I want you to feel a little gentle pressure if you aren't in the habit of setting goals that you might want to start, because they're a wonderful way of getting things accomplished. Before I even knew what goals were when I was younger, I would always sit down and write out what I wanted my life to be, what I wanted to do, what actions I was going to take to get there, and just different milestones I was going to have in my life. By this time I wanted that, by that time I wanted this. And that was just me setting goals before I knew what they were. Now that I know what goals are, actually I define a goal as a desired outcome that is achieved through planned effort. I really love to share and talk about goals. So we're going to talk about the steps I take to come up with a goal, and then also I'll walk you through the process to make sure that it's effective. And then I have a question from a viewer and we'll take it from there. Another great thing about goals is they provide focus. So rather than wasting time on a lot of different activities that aren't going to get you anywhere, a goal is great because it lines up the activities towards a target. If you make your goal correctly and action plan it properly, you will have a list of things to do that are propelling you forward in a straight line towards your target. And that is really, really good focus, and one of the things I love about goals. Another thing I love about goals is that they provide motivation. So if you have a target that is extremely attractive, you want to get closer to it all the time. And that's what I feel when I have a goal that, I say I want to do something that is obviously something I really want in my life. I really do what I can to get it. So I feel extremely motivated when I have goals. The third thing that I think goals do is provide alignment. So everybody should have values and feel a sense of purpose in life. And if you don't, talk to me because you really should. But anyway, your values and purpose align perfectly with the goals that you set. So if you're setting goals that are, taking you off on this tangent and that tangent, and they're really not lined up with who you really are, you're going to feel a disconnect. But a really good goal provides alignment so that your values, your purpose, and the things that you do are all going in the same direction. And that's wonderful. Now for me, goal setting, I know there's books and things out there that tell you the proper way to set goals. Well, I don't know if mine are like that, because I kind of came up with mine on my own. But I have a 3-step process, and then I do something to make sure that they're effective. So the first thing I do is make sure that I have dreams. Have dreams in your life. They're so important. Get you out of living in the here and now, which we don't feel like we have control over all the time. And it gets you into a long range way of thinking, into the long term space, something, that you can be or see or do or accomplish in 10 years. So think 10 years out. A lot can happen in that time. What do you actually want to happen in your life? So for me, I'm going to start giving you personal examples. When I brainstormed my list of dreams, I came up with something, it kind of came to the top, in that in 10 years, I want to be known as someone who is influential and inspirational. That's very important to me, and I just want that, and it's a dream of mine. So after you brainstorm your list of dreams, the next thing you want to do is organize them and prioritize them, and come up with things that you need to do in order to make the most important ones reality. So I look at the next 3 to 5 years, what I need to do, see, or become in order to make sure that I get closer to my dream. So these 3 to 5 year mid-range things I call objectives. So the objectives are just like they sound. They're milestones on the way to the dream that's 10 years out that you're going to accomplish and be, in the halfway point to your dreams. So for me, my objective at this point is to have pink2paris be recognized as a brand in the personal development space. So I want to be recognized as a personal development brand. I think I can do that in the next 3 to 5 years, and that is my objective. Now, where I take those objectives and I look at what I need to do in the next year or less in order to get closer to my objective. So I think that for me, my goal is to write a book. I think that would meet my objective of getting pink2paris known in the personal development space, and then also getting me closer to my dream of being influential and inspirational. So that is my goal, and it's something I can do in the year or less time frame, and that is what I'm going to do. So I can't just say I'm going to write a book. That would not be an effective goal, and that's not where I think you should stop. There's a acronym out there called SMART for SMART goals. I actually add another ER and call them smarter goals, and I'll tell you why. First of all, the S in SMART stands for specific. So you want to make sure that your goal is very specific and that it's not fluffy and something that's just loose and willy-nilly, like write a book. There's all kinds of books, and what kind of book are you going to write? So me being more specific, I'm going to write a nonfiction book. Now the M in smarter stands for measurable. You want to make sure that you can measure your goal so that you can know when it's completed or know where your progress is at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a book that is a standard adult book length book, and about 25,000 to 50,000 words. That's the range of words I'm going to use to measure for my book. Now the A in smarter stands for attainable. You want to look at your goal and make sure that it's actually something that you could possibly achieve. Now, me writing my first book in a year at 50,000 words is not quite achievable in my world. So I'm going to do it more of the 25,000 words, and that will be my goal, will be to write a nonfiction book that is 25,000 words. And that takes us into the R in smarter, and you want to make sure that your goal is relevant. So you want to make sure that it's relevant by making sure that it lines you up towards your objectives and your dreams. So if I want to be influential and inspirational, I'm going to write an influential and inspirational book. So I'm going to write a nonfiction book that's 25,000 words, that's influential and inspirational. And what are we on? T. The T in smarter stands for time bound. And that's where I'm going to make sure that I set a deadline or a time limit on this goal. Otherwise, it could just go on indefinitely, and we'll never know if we get there or not. So like I said, goals are a year or less, and my birthday happens to be just under a year from now. So I want to write a book by my birthday. So my goal now becomes I want to write an influential, an inspirational book that's a nonfiction book of 25,000 words by May 16, 2021. So that is my goal right there. And the extra E and R that I add on to make it smarter, the E stands for evaluated. So I'm going to make sure that this goal gets evaluated in time so that I make sure that it is definitely still relevant, attainable, specific, and also that it fits in with my current lifestyle. Things always happen in life. You might start off wanting one thing and then things shift and you have to go in a different direction. Be flexible with your goals, but not too flexible so that you don't ever stick to anything, but make sure that you're evaluating it to see that it lines up with what's actually necessary. The R in smarter, the second R, stands for realistic. I want to make sure that my goal is realistic at all times. So if I'm right now in my life, it's very realistic for me to sit down and write a 25,000 word book. But if I get ill or if something happens or something changes in my life, that might not be realistic anymore. And I want to either back off from that goal, readjust that goal, or do something different so that I stay realistic, because that's something I think people don't remember, is that goals are desired outcomes that are achieved through planned effort. If desire is no longer there, it's time to reevaluate the goal and it's not realistic anymore. So I put out there on Instagram that I would answer a question, and someone asked me a really good one, so I want to go over that right now. It comes from username photography_NNK, and this person asks, how do you work towards multiple goals in a day, and what's your accountability system? Well, to work towards several goals in a day, to me, is the same as working towards one at a time. I prefer to have multiple goals going on at one time. So this question is really relevant to me. What I do is prioritize the goal. Now, I can't do, if I have a list of 5, 10 goals, I can't do something for each one every day. So I pick a couple, 1 or 2 or 3, that I want to take a task or take action for that day. So I usually write a daily activity list or a daily task list, and that'll have like 3 to 5 items on it that I want to focus on. And they're related to 1, 2, or 3 goals, and they're always moving me closer towards that goal. So what I want to say is, if you have multiple goals and you're thinking about what to do each day, is don't do everything. You can't focus on everything. That'll spread you too thin. What you want to do is get some laser focus and hone in on 1, 2, or 3 goals and do 3 to 5 things each day that will get you going forward. So I like to plan my steps out either the night before or the morning of, and I know what I need to do that day. Some people wing it. I don't recommend that all the time, but just make sure that you're always doing something towards the goal. But the worst thing you'll do is try to take care of everything all the time. You'll just spread yourself too thin. Now, the second part of that question was, what's your accountability system? So my accountability system is other people. I have to have someone that I tell my goal to. Otherwise, I don't feel like I really have a goal, because I'm more apt to do it because I don't want to look like I couldn't do it and basically like I failed. So I tell people about my goals now so that I have some support system and that I also have an accountability system, and I rely on the other people to check me. So if I'm saying I want to lose weight, but I'm constantly eating cookies, I want them to check me and say, that's not in line with your goal, what's going on? And I also do that to myself too. So myself as my own accountability system, and then I include others to help hold me accountable as well. So I hope that answers your question. It was a very good one, and I really appreciated you asking that on Instagram. Okay, so that's gonna wrap this video up. I don't think I did a good job explaining everything here. Actually, this is one of the trickiest videos that I've filmed, and I don't know if I did a good job of explaining everything. So what I did is I wrote a blog about this on my website, and you can go there. I'll have it linked below in the description box. You can find it at pink2paris.com. It's called Goal Setting for Success, and you'll find it there. Please read it. It gives you much more information and a few other tips that go into successful goal setting. And I thank you so much for watching this video, watching me stumble along through it, and I really appreciate you so much. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell so that you never miss an upload. I'll be back really soon with another video. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Dream. So those would be your, so that's that.